when it comes to question number 3 in language paper 1, which is the structure question, this question is actually really easy to do very well in. However, lots of students tend to be quite sloppy with this question. They tend to see the word structure and then they go for the really sloppy, the very obvious techniques like beginning, middle, and end. And they then make really obvious observations when they're talking about the effect that they're asked to comment on, and they leave loads of marks on the table. Now, what I want to go over is the 3 heavy hitting techniques you should be looking for and commenting on in any question 3 response that you do for language paper 1, that not only firstly will impress your teachers because you're mentioning really, really powerful techniques that majority of students don't tend to mention, but number 2, as you look for these techniques, you will be forced to ask yourself, okay, why has the writer used this technique? What does this show me in terms of the question's keywords? Okay, remember that question number 3 always asks you to look at and talk about a specific effect that's being created, like tension, like fear, how the writers use structure to create that. But the moment you ask yourself that question because you're using these techniques, you're now moving into analysis territory, and then you're going to be making some really good, amazing points. So let's get into the heavy hitting techniques, the heavy hitters that you should be looking for and adding in any question 3 response that you write. Number 1 is the sudden or gradual introduction of a character. Look for this. Ask yourself in the beginning, is there a character that's immediately mentioned to us? And by the way, remember that a character can either be a person, or of course, remember that a character can be an animal, an object, whatever the author wants us to focus on. Ask yourself, is there any interesting character that's been introduced in the beginning or the middle? Mention this, and then think about what effect you're supposed to be discussing and unpacking in connection to the question. Number 2, zooming in or zooming out. If anything is described in lots of great detail, that means the author is zooming in on it. Or if there's a whole general scene with different bits being described, that means the author is zooming out. Mention it, discuss it, think about what effect that is creating. And number 3, does the author end in the same way as they begin, which is a circular structure, or more commonly, do they change quite suddenly? Mention that in your writing. And I'm going to be going over this as well as the whole of language paper 1 in my upcoming GCSE masterclass on Sunday at 5 to 6 p.m. Join in if you have any questions, ask me during that live masterclass. And of course, there's going to be lots of model answers I'll be going over that you can revise from.